How do you decide what RPG is best for your group? Today on Out of Character. Hi, and welcome to Out of Character. I'm Jason Corley.
I'm Jerry Creason.
And I'm Scott Forster.
And assisting us with engineering today is Aaron Lee Newbern.
Hello.
So before we jump into today's topic, I just wanted to give a quick announcement, follow up on a game that we've been following here for a few episodes. The Play's the Thing, which is the mixed-up Shakespearean RPG that's coming out for Magpie Games. You remember us talking about this?
I did actually look at that today and thought that interesting.
Yeah. The concept is that you are a Shakespearean actor who wants to change the ending of the play for their character. So you don't have to know any Shakespeare, but what it comes with is basically a layout of the play, what your character's role is, some quotes that if you can hit the quotes, you get a bonus.
That would frustrate me to no end. The entire time I'd be going, no, you're wrong. Why are you so wrong? Stop being wrong.
So, this is a game we've been following for a while, and it's out. It cleared Kickstarter. It's now on DriveThruRPG. And just wanted to give a quick shout out to Joel Schimpert. He writes the Story by the Throat blog, and his comment, which I loved, was he was psyched to finally have a game that supported his Romeo Mercutio / fiction. I think we are can all say that we are all the king of cats now, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes, we can, Jason.
Okay. So today's question comes to us from storygames.com. They've given us a lot of really great show ideas, and we're going to be using them coming up. The user Rye asked, how do you decide what RPG is best for your group? And Scott, I understand that you are a vicious dictator.
Yes, I pick a game, they play it, they don't like it, they go play another game. It's not completely true. Usually I try and tailor it to the tastes of my group, but, you know.
And I've actually had groups that, I always agonize over how everyone's, are you enjoying the game? Do you really like it? And then, yes, Jason, I really like it. Well, what do you like about it? I'm very insecure. But at the same time, I've had groups that are like, Jason, stop asking us what we want to play. Just pick something.
Right.
We're going to like it no matter what. We like the group. We like you. If we hate it, we'll tell you. But we don't want to think about it. We just want to show up and play. I've had groups that are like that. Jerry, how do you and your group decide what to play?
I generally have no say. I like just about everything that we play. So I'm sort of a Jill of all trades. It doesn't matter what we play. I find something to enjoy about it. Generally speaking, if the guys get bored, they switch to something else and they say, well, we've decided to nix the zombie game and we're going to do Seven Seas. And
who decides? Is there someone in the group that decides, or
whoever decides they want to be GM. For that particular
really
game.
It's on the GM.
Yeah, there's two guys that sort of bounce it back and forth between them. When one gets bored or the game sort of dies, then the other one, steps in and says, well, I've been thinking about this particular thing that I'd like to do, and so I want to do that. A couple of times ago, we actually had a vote, and I was the swing vote.
Because it was evenly split.
Yes.
That's interesting.
And it...
Do you think it was evenly split because the group has such different tastes, or was it that it was evenly split that no one really cared between those two choices? Or?
Actually, because they had very specific tastes, and they'd been waiting for a zombie game to come along, and I myself have zombie fear. Don't judge me. And so it was either zombies or vampires, and I'd never actually played in a vampire game, so I said vampire.
Okay.
So cool. And then shortly after that, we ended up doing zombies anyway.
So so basically you picked that because you had never played it before. You'd never experienced it before.
I mean, I knew about the system.
Right.
But I'd never personally gotten a chance to play in a game. So I decided that I wanted to do that instead.
Got it.
So.
In my current group, I also did a vote. I went online, and there's actually a couple of websites that talk about different methods of voting, like you assign a number to each of your preferences, and you add up what your first preference is, and the top two get a runoff. And
see, I don't think you need to make it that complicated.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be those one or two people that, are going to be sort of outside the group of, general consensus.
In my group, we have vetoes more than anything else, which is that my wife doesn't want a fantasy game with spell lists. Like there cannot be a spell list in the game, or else she's just not interested in it. If it's going to be magic, she wants it to be sort of urban magic, like Dresden Files, or psychic powers, like Trinity from White Wolf. Or like Vampire, for example. They have a list of powers, but you just take one at a time. You're not like picking from 100 different spells like in D&D. That's what she wants to avoid.
And keeping track of them for your day-to-day. And wait, did I use that daily or did I not use that daily? Yeah, it can get tedious that way. So I can see her point of view.
So some people will veto mechanics. Other people will veto content like you would with zombies. It's just too scary.
I like Shaun of the Dead because it makes me laugh. But past that, I'm no good. I would be the girl that would freak out and take the shotgun and be like, run! Shoot everything.
Fun.
Have you ever had a situation where you're either in a game or you were running a game and it didn't turn out to be the way it was pitched to you and you were disappointed? So in other words, when you made the decision as to what game you wanted to play, you played it for a few sessions and it turned out to be something else.
A little bit.
What happened?
It was actually a Seventh Seas campaign, and the first few sessions were absolutely fantastic. Where you could do just about anything that you wanted. Now,
7th Sea, just for everyone who doesn't know, that's John Wick's swashbuckling game published by AEG.
And it makes it very easy for role-playing. You don't get bogged down in a lot of dice rolling.
A lot of tactical stuff.
Right, exactly. If I say, I want to jump from this balcony onto this chandelier and do a flip and land and brandish my rapier and say, ha-ha! Well, you have a difficulty level. The fancier the move, the higher the difficulty level is. But it leaves a lot of room for role play.
Improvisation.
It was
so you started out
wonderful.
In this 7th Sea game, and then what happened?
There was a mystery, and it just sort of died and fell flat, and it ended up to feel more like just a regular module. And so that was a little, I was really having fun.
And then you got stuck into a situation where you weren't having fun.
And then everybody...
Have you ever been in that situation?
I tend to
put
run
people in that situation.
I tend to run very long campaigns. My current D&D campaign's about to hit its 3rd anniversary.
Nice.
So it's more as adjusting the tone of the game or what we're doing specifically next. Rather than changing the game system, it's more like changing the plot or changing the focus of what the players are doing. For instance, I had a player early in the campaign who very much wanted political intrigue. So I built in extra political intrigue for her. But then it just the chemistry between she and I just wasn't working out. And as a player,
Got
yes. It. And for she wasn't liking the hooks that I was giving for intrigue. I wasn't, we just weren't interacting in the right way. And it ended up being, everybody else wants to kill things and take their stuff. You're the only one who wants the intrigue. So this is a mismatch, and
the game is going to be kill things and take their stuff.
The game we're just the group wins, and a couple months later she's like, you know what? I'm tired of killing things and taking their stuff. I'm going to go play something else.
Yeah,
and sometimes that happens, but
sure. And if you have something that you really want out of the game and you're not getting it, the prospect of sitting through another 2 years of that game is probably miserable for her.
And I don't blame her at all.
Right.
If I always say, if you're not having fun, we'll address it as much as we can. But if we can't fix it and make it so you're having fun, maybe it's not the right game for you.
I have to admit, I inflicted this on my players at one point, and even though I'm, of course, the greatest GM in Tucson, even Joe DiMaggio did not get a hit every time at bat. Right. So I was running a game using Mage the Ascension. That was White Wolf's game of modern magic, and I was using it in their Dark Ages setting. And I was really excited because I had this idea of these characters that were created with mentors, and they were sort of established members of this magical community. And we were just establishing that. We were getting the relationships going, and then I was going to kill off all of the mentors and put them in charge of all of the problems that they had been seeing. So I was psyched. I'm like, this is going to be so good. They're going to think, I'm just going to be going on missions, and I'm going to just be, doing what I'm going to be doing my fetch quests.
Right.
And so that's what they thought. And then 3 sessions in, I killed off the mentors, and I got this real weird look at the table, and I'm like, uh-oh. The next session I came in, and they were not prepared for the freedom and responsibility of running this magical situation that was they had successfully invested in the fact that it was very important, and they had successfully invested in the fact that their characters felt that way. but they didn't want a game that was about making big decisions at a high level. They wanted to be the ones that maybe got sent out on a mission or maybe got sent to gather some information, but the big decisions they wanted to make with some established characters that they had a relationship with. So after 3 sessions were great, like the 7C game,
Right.
then I made my big reveal and it was like,
And it tanks.
there's nothing. Nothing. So, I mean, we literally lasted one more session, and then at the end of it, it was like, guys, I understand. We're not going to do this anymore.
Right.
So that actually goes back to our prior topic of when you pull the plug on a game.
Yeah.
So hopefully that has helped you in deciding how to decide what RPG is best for your group. You're going to need to identify the activities that the players are going to want. You're going to need to know if there's any content that they're not interested in, like zombies. And you're going to need to be able to think on the fly. If things are moving along and a player is really dissatisfied, you need to decide, are you going to pull the plug on the game? Are you going to, have the player seek other opportunities, as they say in the private sector? Or maybe you're going to change up how the game is played in some way to accommodate everybody. Thanks to Rye for the question, and next week our show is going to be about how you make a good character background. So I'll see you then.
PulpGamer.com